Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in to the GDQ Hotfix. My name is Smooth Operative, and welcome to another episode of Time Capsule, the show where we travel back in time to your favorite years in gaming and speedrun our way through popular or influential games released in a particular year. Tonight, we have a very special episode planned. We are taking a look back at the year 1988 with speedruns of NES classics, Super Mario Bros. 2, and Super Mario Bros. 3. But of course, we have to start out with Super Mario Bros. 2, and I have speedrunner Adam Ferrari here. Hi, Adam. Welcome.
Hi, Tippy.
Thank you.
So excited to do this.
Yeah, thank you so much for being on. Super Mario 2, I'm a little biased. It is one of my favorites from the classic days. So we have a really cool category that Adam's going to show off. It's all levels, 5, all shrooms. Adam, do you want to tell us about the category a little bit?
Okay, so I couldn't decide between a couple of category extensions that I thought would be good to showcase this run, and what good platforming looked like in 1988. So I just combined the two. So we're going to collect all the mushrooms that are power-ups that give you extra health in this game, and I'm going to do 5 levels with each character, because there's actually 4 characters you can play as with different physics in this Mario game, and it's awesome. There's 20 levels total, and at the end it'll tell you which one was the most used, but for this run it's gonna say all 4 of them. They're like all equally contributed, so it's awesome. We're gonna get to see all the characters in one run. Yeah, all the mushrooms.
Innovative. I like it.
Yeah, I made up this category, but I have the world record technically, 34 minutes and 19 seconds. Let's see if we can beat the world record tonight.
Okay, yeah. Well, whenever you are feeling comfortable, you can give us the count in.
All right. I'm going to count from 5. I start the timer on 1. It's just, but yours is on 0. So, do reset. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, let's go. Good luck.
Thank you. And Mario is not the fastest character in this stage, but some characters like Mario and Princess, we kind of have to stick them in some situations to get them up to 5 levels, and this is just one of the levels where Mario doesn't really lose that much time compared to Toad, so it's kind of, for the 5, we have to make some compromises and use some of the slower characters. Alright, I'm gonna do a double jump here. You ready?
We're ready.
That's nice! Yeah, if you brush up against an enemy's hitbox in this game, you gotta get within a couple frames of them before you make contact with them. But if you do that, and then a certain point in your jump, if you let go of jump, you get to have a second jump. There's a cool run warp you can do here, but it's a lot easier with Toad than Mario, so I'm just taking the intended route. This is actually a shortcut, but it's an intended shortcut. There's a couple of these throughout the run. So we kind of got lucky there. Birdo only shoots an egg every 4 seconds, and all the enemy patterns in this game are based on when you start the level and how long it takes you to get to the enemy spawning in the level, like Birdos and stuff.
Oh, interesting.
Yes, some enemies are consistent though. Like these Bezos will be consistent for the first time they spawn, but the Bezos later on will be different. Also, yes, Luigi has a mighty jump. That is why we were able to skip that gap. You're normally supposed to ride the carpet that the Pidgeot was on. And you can actually skip all of this room, but there's actually a mushroom in here. So we're gonna damage boost up here. I like to call this Ouija action, because everything with Luigi in this run is cool, to say the least. Alright, and now I've been paying attention to my cherry count. I collected 5 cherries in total this stage for a reason. 5 cherries spawns a star. And what does a star do? Well, let's find out. You can only do this in this category, because normally you wouldn't get enough cherries.
Oh,
but it's cool.
That's hacks. 1 hit.
That is nice. And considering that Birdo only shoots 1 egg every 4 seconds, it saves like 12 seconds. I'm gonna kill this guy quick. There is a mushroom here. A lot of times the mushrooms are hidden close to the potions that take you to the subworld for convenience, but sometimes you have to backtrack. So this next one, you can use this potion to warp too, but
Is it usually about 2 mushrooms per level?
All but it's always 2, except for there's 2 outliers. 2-1 has 1, and 6-2 has 1.
Okay.
Everywhere else has 2. And 5-2 is a little weird, because they make it really tricky to get both. So we're gonna respawn the same potion twice. It's, not too hard to do, but... Oh, I just did a run warp, by the way. We use the Shy Guy to clip through the floor, and whenever you do a run warp in this game, it takes you to the next room based on your last, how much progress you made. In that case, the furthest I got into the game was that room. So it was pretty linear. But it skips having to get a key.
That's excellent.
Saves about... Take a guess how long... I want to see if you can get it. How long how much time it saves.
I was gonna guess maybe 35 seconds.
You're actually close. It's about 25 to 30.
Okay, cool.
None other than Andrew G himself discovered that strat back in the day. Alright, we got little Toad action here. All of World 2 we're doing with Toad. He's the fastest character in these long horizontal rooms, and he gets a 20% speed boost when he picks up an enemy or a heavy object. No other character gets a speed boost. In fact, Luigi and the princess get speed decreases. So Toad's just kind of nice for... I mean, I'd be using him a lot more, but because of the 5-5-5-5 thing, we have to spread the love to the other characters.
Yeah, if you get another chance, maybe you could just re-explain 5-5-5-5 one more time for the folks that are just joining us.
Yeah! So this is a cool category extension where there's 20 levels in the game. We're doing all the levels. But because there's 4 characters with different physics, you can actually do an equal number of levels with each character. Oh, dang. I'm not going to get this star kill. I messed it up. But we're going to do 5 levels with each of the 4 characters. If you're fast enough, you can actually take out this Birdo with a star, but I didn't spawn the star correctly. It's dependent on how fast you get there. And I didn't get there fast enough.
Well, that's okay.
Yeah, it's not a big deal. That's a pretty easy Birdo to kill.
We're getting some compliments on your hat also in the chat. Very nice.
Thank you. I tip my hat to you. It covers up my bald spot.
Aw.
Nah, I still got enough hair. I like to kid around. Let's see. 1 cherry, 2 cherries. This is another example where I count how many cherries I get because I'm going to spawn a star. You actually do that quite a bit in Warpless. I think I've gotten 2 so far. Cool little 1-up mushroom. Not required, but 1-ups are nice in a run. If you game over, you have to start from the beginning of the world, not the level. So I just want to make sure I don't game over. I don't think we will. But yeah, for 1988, I'd say the level design in this game was about as good as any game that was out at the time. You're gonna see a lot of different kinds of gimmicks and levels, and it's a really good game.
Yeah, I like this Mario because it's a bit different than your typical Super Mario Bros. But I think that just has to do with the adaptation of it. It was not originally a Mario game, and they kind of turned it into one, but it's fun because you've got all these, iconic characters like the Shy Guy now a part of the Mario universe, and I think it fits...
Birdo.
Yeah, and Birdo.
Main character.
It fits together, they made it work.
They really did it, and it was almost meant to be like a Mario-type platformer anyway. The same team that worked on Mario 1 pretty much worked on Doki Doki Panic. Got a nice little double hit there. But the only difference is they added a run button.
Yeah,
normally you're not allowed to run. Yeah, especially in a speedrun.
I can't recall if they added the slot machine section or not. I don't know if that was in Doki Doki Panic originally or not either.
The slot machine mechanic was not. It was originally you would have the same kind of bonus screen, but they put a lot of I want to say Americanized gimmicks.
Little touches.
Because this was
on
a USA. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That double jump is really nice, by the way. So you can get up here and get this other mushroom faster. You're supposed to normally ride the Bezos, which are very unpredictable and tricky to, do jumps off of. But you can control their height. It's pretty cool.
Their patterns aren't always the same.
They're not the same. They're actually they actually change depending on how you interacted with the Bezos in the other levels.
Oh.
And as far as I'm aware, they're the only enemies in the entire game that like depend on other levels. Everything else is level to level specific.
Oh, that's wild.
Yeah, Bezos are wild. And they're also very annoying for speedruns because they are unpredictable and unless you do the levels the same way. So I guess if you're speedrunning and you're consistent at the levels, then you'll get there at the same time. And just like with the Birdos and stuff, you can kind of predict it. But in a category like this, it's a little trickier to predict certain things. Trying to do a damage boost, but fun fact, when you're at 2 health, you actually take damage differently than when you're at 3 or 4 health. And I'm gonna do intentional damage in the next room so I can get my health down. You're not supposed to be able to do that. It's a 2-frame trick, but it's a Ron warp. There's a lot of Ron warps in this game. There we go. Down to 2 health. And you're gonna see why I do this on this boss. Blink and you'll miss it pretty much, kind of scenario. If I do it right. Aw. You could have blinked. I still got a double hit though. Not too bad.
Yeah, really good.
That one's kind of tricky. I usually get it though. I'm surprised. I usually just mash. I'm not sure exactly how it works. I just learned to do it that way.
How long have you been speedrunning Super Mario Bros. 2?
So I first started learning this game back, I believe in, I think it was like September of last year. I played it for a couple months. I think it was September through December about, and that was all my experience, but it was, I tend to learn games a little faster than average because of like, I know a lot of people that, it's speedrunning in general, like you could ask between 5 or 10 people and it's amazing like how much you can learn from the community and the resources that are out there in modern day speedrunning. I'm respawning the potion, by the way.
Okay, yeah.
You can also die. I don't want to die too much in this run. Just since it's a special occasion, you know.
Of course.
All right. Once again, 2 mushrooms. And now this Birdo's gonna go down pretty quickly. Ooh, Birdo's got some moves. What is this, Cobra Kai?
Feisty Birdo.
Alright, looks like it's Peachy time.
Peachy.
Yeah. It's funny, because in Warpless, she's actually the fastest character for this stage. This is her spotlight stage.
I was telling Adam before we started the run that I was so excited back in the day to be able to play as Peach, so I never actually really played the game with any other character besides Peach.
The hover is really powerful. You can even like stop the hover midair.
It's perfect.
You're gonna see me show off a little bit later, probably with Peach. And I could do it now as well, like hovering midair at a specific point.
It's like the whole vibe too, with the arms up, like check me out.
Some of her animation sprites are some of the best out of all the characters too. And her top speed is actually the same as Toad's. She doesn't get Toad's speed boost when carrying a heavy object.
Oh, okay.
And it takes her forever to pick anything up. That's kind of her weakness, but from a casual standpoint, that weakness is very not a big deal compared to the ability to hover. So, I like how they did that, where they gave each character kind of a weakness and a strength, and it's kind of nice.
Someone in the chat said Birdo is missing her own game, and I actually think that would be really cool to see Birdo get her own game.
It's funny too because in the end credits they screwed up the they name all the enemies in the end credits, and they screwed up. They put Ostro on Birdo and Birdo on Ostro. Ostro is like another bird, but I believe she was intended to be Birdo. Birdo kind of makes a big deal in the Super Mario RPG series, and they always give her character a lot of personality, so I would like to see a Birdo spin-off. You know, Wario gets one.
Yeah,
A whole
everyone's getting
series.
one.
I'm waiting for Nintendo to acknowledge their mistake that they called Birdo Ostro in this game, though, in the end credits.
I don't know that they'll ever admit it, but we can hope.
Alright, this is a cool trick here. I hope I can get it within a couple tries. You're not supposed to go this way, but we're going this way. You're supposed— that door I just skipped is actually where you're supposed to enter this room from. But we did a nice little skip there. There's a couple ways to do it. I did it the hard way, because speedrunners always do it the hard way and the fast way. There's a really cool trick in this level. I want to go for it so bad, but it's a little risky.
I mean, anything goes, whatever you're comfortable with.
I could still make estimate either way. I would just have to replay a couple levels, but they're all short levels. I'll go for it. I hit it in the last GDQ run that I did with this. 5 cherries, spawn a star. Oh, that's close. We got it. Let's go. 2 for 2 in GDQ. That's the hardest trick in the entire run.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I got fanfare skip because I went really fast.
The game can't even keep up with you.
We just did like a bunch of I can't even explain. So, if you enter a door during a screen transition, it's a 2-frame window. It triggers a run warp, and because I went to the top and loaded the next room, it took me to Mauser, and I could use that star that I got in that room to kill Mauser in 1 hit. That Mauser usually takes 5 hits, so the risk is that
clever.
It's very clever, and the risk is that if I didn't get far enough down on that ladder, and it was kind of close, you get soft locked and have to not reset, but like there's a death code you can put in. I'm actually gonna do it here just to show off a cool glitch. When you're inside of a rocket, you can do the death code and it speeds up the rocket.
Oh, nice.
You can try that at home if you want. It's the second controller, you hold B, A, and up on the second controller, and then you hit start on the first controller. But normally that does kill you, so be careful. That's usually if you're only stuck, or if you're— I guess you can do it inside the rocket. But don't say it, and if you mistime it, you know, you might die, so be careful when using it.
Yeah, don't blame Adam if something goes wrong.
Before you try that trick, I need you to sign a waiver, so I'm not responsible for anything that happens. Nah, it's all good. Dying in this game is actually not a big deal, because you start at the previous screen. Very minimal backtracking. But yeah, that 3-3 run warp, I'm very glad that I got to show that off, because I was kind of nervous about that. I didn't forget any mushrooms either. This is going very well. Imagine if I forgot a mushroom. And all mushrooms. I'd have to, revoke my speedrunner card. This is one of the coolest rooms in the game. These whales. Very tricky platforming. But, you can actually warp in that room, but, since we're doing warpless, we're gonna do this a little differently. It's a bit sketchy, though. But we made it. Damage boosting is nice. And then we grab that heart. That's one of the cooler hearts. I'm not exactly sure— or cooler mushrooms, I guess. Not hearts. I'm not sure exactly how they intend you to do that. You're supposed to ride the Autobahn thing, that the enemy from the start. There we go. This is a level that you would normally, like, jump right over, like, one of the main gaps, and you can skip the entire thing. We're not gonna do that, though, because one of the shrooms is hidden deep within the castle. So we're actually gonna get to see some downloadable content. For free.
Oh, we like that. I have a question though. In the typical speedrun for this, for any percent, which character is used the most?
Toad. Toad is used the most
Toad,
because
okay.
of his speed boost. He picks up an enemy, gets that 20% speed boost. There's some levels though where you have like these big gaps to clear, and only like Peach and Luigi can clear them. But Luigi in general is a little bit faster than Peach. or the princess. She wasn't called Peach, actually. She was called Toadstool.
Yeah,
Princess
Toadstool.
In 1988. Since this is a time capsule, I gotta call her by her name from 1988.
Yeah, it was a good change, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'd rather be called after a delicious fruit than a poisonous mushroom any day.
Yeah.
This is one of the coolest hidden mushrooms. You saw me pause there. That was just to regain run speed, so I didn't have to walk across that entire thing and jump. Because of the speedrun part of this, we had to go with speed. And speed is running. Running is speed. I like it. Peach's hover comes in handy in this. That's why I use her for this stage. Very easy to descend with her, because you can control her height. And do cool little daredevil tricks like that, like a small jump but clear a big gap. Alright. Was this your favorite boss growing up, Tiffy?
Oh no, this boss, gosh, this boss gave me so much anxiety. just watching you do this, like, I had to read this boss so many times.
I got anxiety too. I almost died.
Oh, just there.
Well, I died. Oh, I got down to my final HP.
Yeah.
So
it was this boss. I don't know the proper name for the boss. Maybe you do.
Fry Guy.
Fry Guy. Okay, yeah, it was a Fry Guy, and the Mauser boss scared me a little bit.
If you do Warpless, do you remember the crab fight? I don't know if you beat the game Warpless, but there's a crab that's gonna be in 5-3. He's pretty scary. He's probably the hardest out of all of them, but I'm not sure. It's relative to opinion.
I did beat this game a couple years back, but I kind of have forgotten it since because I had to go through it with save states because it was way too hard for me. So props to you, Adam, for breezing through this game like it was nothing.
It's actually a pretty tricky speedrun as well. In casual play, it can be tricky because there's not a lot of like recovery. Like it's hard to get a star. You have to kill 8 enemies to spawn a single heart. And the heart only helps you if you have taken damage already, unless you see I had 3 out of 4 there filled up.
Yeah.
I could have taken a heart, but if I had 4 out of 4, the heart wouldn't have helped me. Or in this case, 2 out of 2, because you start off with 2, which really isn't a lot in general, but in Mario games, most of the time you take a hit, you can get something back pretty easily. A lot of the health is hidden pretty well in this. Like, this stage, for example, getting a mushroom requires a lot of specific things you gotta do, like go down here, not get hit there, or actually, maybe I should get hit so I can do the damage boost. There's a cool trick in the next room I'm gonna go for.
Sure, yeah, sounds cool.
See if I can hit it. No way! Oh! I grabbed it midair, but with Mario it's a little tricky to get back. But thankfully the timer runs out. Yeah, it saves a few seconds, but that's why you want to spawn the door up here, because it lets you get back up. And we're gonna grab the same potion again, because
that's awesome.
Yeah. A lot of things in this game, it's very easy just to respawn. You just leave the room or whatever.
I didn't realize you could do that with the potions, though.
Yeah, I didn't think so either as a kid, and then I'm like, wait, speedrunners just do this? And I just, it changed my perspective. Alright, each of these vine jumps I'm gonna do is a 3-frame window. So, let's see how fast I can do. That was perfect. Nice.
Nice, yeah.
But it's faster than climbing, especially with Mario, because he jumps really high. And fast. Really good. He's really good for vertical sections in the game. Alright, time for Stewie Cartman's favorite birdo. What were you gonna say?
You were talking about the space. I think it's actually really cool that there's so much vertical space in this game. Like, I don't think there was really a game like it at the time. We had a lot of side-scrolling platformers, so this was kind of a cool twist to me.
This game reminds me a lot of Metroid on NES, because sometimes you have to go left, sometimes you have to go right, and up and down shafts. just like Metroid, and it's really nice because it's a big change from Mario 1 and Lost Levels from before.
Definitely.
You know, the screen scrolling upwards was a new thing for the Mario series with this particular installment. Alright, let's see if we can get the Bomb of Shame. Or no, the Bomb of Shame is the one I don't want. That
When
bomb's
you don't
good.
want, yeah, that's a
Yeah.
good one.
The one that I don't want is actually the vegetable there. I want to use this bomb to my advantage. For a little speed. Okay, so I want to have 2 HP going into the boss, like with the Snake Triclide in World 2. There's a really cool kill you can do on this boss, but you need to have exactly 2 HP to do the particular damage boost, where you freeze, which causes the rock to glitch out of bounds, and then glitch back in bounds. It was recently discovered by Cool Kid. I think it was 2020, July or something like that.
Oh, fun. Cool Kid was
Yeah.
on the very first episode of Time Capsule, actually.
That's awesome.
Way back in the day.
He's been around, that's for sure. Pretty soon he's gonna have to change his name to Cool Man.
Not a kid
Or
anymore.
Cool Adult, I mean, yeah.
Shout outs to Cool Kid, though.
I
Oh,
need to
this
wait.
crab. I see.
Ah, I failed the kill. Means we're gonna have to stay in the room with him a little longer. He takes 5 hits. I got 4 on him so far. Oh, I could still do the trick. I could still do it. I'll take this opportunity to show it off. Oh, I didn't get it. But you can get the rock out of bounds. I got it in my previous GDQ thing.
It's just like a fun thing? Or is there like another purpose for the rock going out of bounds?
It saves time.
Saves time. Okay,
Because it'll
cool.
come back up and it'll hit the boss 5 times in a row.
Oh.
All with 1 rock.
Oh, geez. Okay.
Almost
That
forgot
is
the
for-
mushroom.
That is pretty nice. Can't do that.
Oh, I just showed off something cool. I gotta explain this. So if you throw an enemy diagonally and then enter a new room, it could take out an enemy on the diagonals. I just threw a snake this way,
Oh.
and that snake, for some reason, it's invisible going into the next room, and it took out the Shy Guy. That's actually very hard to make happen on accident, so I'm glad that I got to show that off.
You're full of surprises this evening.
Yeah, I didn't even have to try for that one. It just happened. Princess is very nice for this stage. You can fly right over the Panzer there. That Panzer, that took me out a lot as a kid, for sure. The Panzers are very, very hard to predict and avoid. At least in casual play.
Sure, yeah.
When digging, you want to like lure the Shy Guys a certain way. They follow you. When they drop from above, they'll pick the direction that they are. Basically, they want to get closer to you because they're designed to hurt you. So it's good to lure them and use that to your advantage. Kind of how you do it with Pac-Man AI or a lot of AIs that can be manipulated.
Yeah. I think those whole sections with the digging and the masks chasing you, it's like, I actually don't understand why I like this Mario, because it's full of anxiety.
Yeah,
every level.
Anytime you have a key, it's very worrisome.
Yeah.
I messed up a little bit here. Let's see if I can save it. Dang, he didn't spawn. That's fine. There's a... I'm going for the IL strat here. You have to do these double jumps. Dang. But you can back it up. That time I got hit by the... Dang. Alright, I'll go with the safe strat here. That's why I collected 1-ups, though. Play this as safe as I possibly can, just for the sake of the marathon.
Sure,
Or
yeah.
the live setting. Actually, I could show off something here. I'm actually going to show off something that I usually don't show off, but you can actually spawn a Bezo here. And then if you hold the run button, or don't hold the run button, while you're running on this, you can actually like balance yourself right on the edge of the Bezo. This is called the Amazon Prime, because Bezo sounds like Bezos. So,
Oh, I understand the jokes in chat now, thank you.
Oh, Kurt came up with that one. He must be in there. Kurt's
Yeah.
Brand. Really good, very good runner of this game.
Nice, nice. Yeah, I think it was mentioned at the beginning of the run, made me laugh.
Alright, we got Luigi here. Oh, this is a really cool stage. I'm glad I still have a couple lives to spare, because there's actually a death abuse we're gonna do. We're only gonna do it once, so it's safe. But first we're gonna grab this one, which is in the middle of nowhere. Definitely found that as a kid. How about you, Tippy? Did you find that one as a kid?
No, I didn't get very far in this game as a kid. I don't think I beat it as a kid. I only beat it, gosh, maybe 2017, I think, for the first time. So, you know, platformers are just not for me most of the time. Like, they're just way too hard for me.
I would recommend this game over most of the Mario platforming games. I think this one and Mario World are probably like the best to play if you haven't played them in a while, but...
I guess I should say, like, 2D platform games are tough. 3D platform games I'm okay at, but yeah, it's the 2D platform games. I have a bad perception when I jump and things like that.
It is a different experience. I've done 3D stuff like Mario 64. Alright, it's Ouija action time. Nice.
Oh my gosh.
You're supposed to... You can use that shortcut, but it's much faster to go over it.
That was cool.
Thank you. Wonder who came up with that. It's been around for a while. Maybe it was Andrew G. That's my default. Like, who came up with that strat? I just default to Andrew G. Alright. This is a cool kill. You ready? Oh, I wasn't ready. Alright. There we go. I screwed it up. That's all good. I got all the mushrooms.
I love the snake's surprise face. Ah!
The sprites in this game, like the boss sprites, when they take damage, they're all very comical. I love it. So this is like an anti-Metroid. Normally you wouldn't, well, in a speedrun you wouldn't go way over here, but we're going right to find an item. In this case it's mushroom, you know, because mushrooms are cool. Now that you know where all the mushrooms are. So. You love mushroom? Wait, what'd you say?
I love mushrooms. Like, I put them on my pizza, put them on my omelets. You know, mushrooms are great.
They make you powerful. Definitely help when you're playing this game if you want to beat it, to know where all the mushrooms are. It's not like Mario 1 at all.
I don't think I'll remember this if we're having a pop quiz, so I'll have to practice.
You mean you haven't been taking notes on where all the shrooms are?
Oh no.
That's okay. I'll let you pass this time.
Oh, thanks, Teach.
No problem. Alright, I just jumped over that because that maze there is kind of tricky to navigate through, and it's a lot easier to just jump over it with Luigi. His jump height is ridiculous. Like, look at that. He didn't even have to build a bridge or anything. He's just got it. That's Ouija action, what it is. Look at Luigi go. Alright. And now you're gonna get to see the last stage here, 7-2. It's the longest stage in all Shrooms because it takes almost 4 minutes. But in any percent, you can like do this glitch, which I'll do eventually at the end of it, to skip right to the end of it, where you do a vine jump to get like on top of like this long horizontal corridor. But first, we're actually gonna detour. Muscle memory kicked in there, but we're gonna detour because the mushrooms are down here. Like, one of them is. So what's next for Time Capsule? I'm so excited for this this hotfix in general.
Yeah, so we were talking about this before stream, but 1988 was actually a very interesting year because Super Mario 2, the US version, came out, as well as Super Mario Bros. 3. The stars kind of aligned in this very weird way, so we'll be getting to see some Super Mario Bros. 3 after this. And Adam, you did say you had been working on that recently, so what are your thoughts on SMB3?
Mario 3 is my current, like you said, is my current speedrunning project. I'm currently doing the category actually that's gonna be ran, coming up soon by Narfman. And my thoughts on Mario 3, that game was always my favorite of the trilogy. And you could throw Lost Levels in there. But as a young kid, I liked this game better. But as a speedrun, Mario 3 has a lot of crazy factors that can go into it, like randomness and... But the physics are very fun to master, very complicated. In the Mario 3 community, as is with the Mario 2, wonderful places to learn how to speedrun and meet some wonderful friends. But yeah, Mario 3. Mario 3 is awesome. You're gonna see a lot of cool stuff from Narfman after this hotfix is the torch is passed on.
Would you say that there's a lot more like RNG in Super Mario Bros. 3 compared to this game?
Yes, like this game has like no RNG basically. Minus like sometimes the bird, it's like a 50-50 if the birdo will shoot you with fire or you'll get an egg on the red birdos. But that's fine. I needed to damage anyway. With Mario 3, like pretty much everything is based on like a global frame counter or some kind of global frame counter, or like what frame you're on when you touch something. And World 8 especially has like these hand levels, and depending on like if you win a 50, it's 3 coin tosses basically, and in a world record pace you have to win all 3 back to back, or else you lose the entire run no matter what. But Mario 3 is a really fun project. It really is. Despite the RNG, you know, it could be frustrating at times, but there's enough like skill-based stuff to where if you play well, the game will reward you with progress, and it's very satisfying to do the levels fast, because in Mario 3 you get P-speed, which is like the screen scrolls. You're gonna see Narfman go so fast. Basically.
It's gonna be a good time. And it's still a good time right now.
This is Wart.
Oh, it's Wart. Here he is.
This is the bad guy. Time is gonna be on when I enter the door after this fight. There's a little cutscene after I take him out, but time will be after the 6th, after the door. All right, one more hit. Let's see if we can take him out. All shrooms, 5555. Looks like we're gonna get to see a 5555. It'll tell you after the boss dies how many lives or how many characters per stage or whatever.
Oh,
but that's
nice.
time.
Yeah.
So we got 35 minutes.
GG.
Sweet.
I like to think that Wart is actually King Koopa in cosplay.
It's his Halloween costume. This is all a scary Halloween dream. But there it is. Contributor.
There it is.
All 5. They're all contributors equally.
Wow. Everybody contributed.
Isn't it beautiful?
It's beautiful.
Mario 2.
I think this would be a good time for me to also thank all of our current contributors for Hotfix. Your subs and bits do help support weekly Hotfix content, so if you enjoy this show or any of our Hotfix shows, feel free to support the channel by subscribing or cheering. And Adam, that was a fantastic run. You did amazing. Thank you so much for being on.
No problem. It was my privilege and honor to be here to show off this game, one of 1988's greatest games.
Of course.
And,
do you have any shout outs or anything you'd like to leave our viewers with before we roll along here?
I'd like to shout out Kurt's New Brand's YouTube channel and Twitch channel. Kurt's New Brand taught me pretty much everything I know about this game. Really cool guy. He'll help you get into the game. If you want to learn the speedrun yourself, he'll help you. He can help you a lot. And if you liked what you saw, twitch.tv/Adam Ferrari. It's like Better Call Saul, but it's me.
Better Call Adam.
Yeah, and make sure to drop me a follow if you like that. I've been playing Mario 3, so especially if you like what Narfman's doing, that's what I'm going to be doing mostly coming up, and I'm so excited. Speedrunning is fun.
Nice. Well, we really appreciate you being on the show, Adam. Again, everybody, if you enjoyed the run, please make sure you follow Adam at twitch.tv/Adam Ferrari. We are going to get ready for the next run, Super Mario Bros. 3. And it looks like Adam's going to be getting ready to get his groove on just in time for that run. So we'll be back. I'm
excited.
We'll be back in just a moment.
Thanks, Tiffy.
Thank you. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for your patience. Welcome back to the GDQ Hotfix. I am Smooth Operative. We are doing Time Capsule. It's a show where we travel back in time to your favorite years in gaming and speedrun our way through popular or influential games released in that particular year. We're doing 1988, and we have Narfman here for Super Mario Brothers 3, as well as Teeks on commentary. Narfman, why don't you start introductions?
Yeah, hey there, Narfman here. So we're gonna do warpless. Key thing about warpless is that we're not allowed to use the warp whistles, so we can pick them up. So if you see me in 1F picking it up, that's not cheating. But also there is a decent amount of RNG. So at the end, we'll see. I'll probably whine about the hands inevitably, and we have a lot of hammer bro movements as well, and that'll change the route pretty significantly. We'll have to kind of play it by ear. We'll have to make some tough life choices in there, but I think we'll do okay. Comms also we have Teeks, who is a SMB3 moderator, a runner, and a knower of all things known and unknown. So after we start, I'll get Teeks to introduce themselves. Okay, well, yeah, let's go ahead and get started.
Sounds good.
All right. I'm weird. I have my other timer over here. All right, dramatic pause. I will count down to 0, and we can start on 0. 3, 2, 1, 0.
All right, let's go. Good luck.
Teeks, would you mind introducing yourself and saying profound words while I get started in World 1?
Yes, certainly. So yeah, good evening, everybody. I'm Teeks88. It's a pleasure to be here. Narfman is actually one of the first SMB3 runners I met in the community back when I was first learning the game. I first had the opportunity to see his talents put into action when he was participating in the SMB3 Warpless tournament that was organized back in the summer of 2018. And interestingly enough, this event is what inspired me to start running the game as well. So there's a lot that can be said about this category, especially in terms of RNG and how the Hammer Brothers move across the map, and as Marfman mentioned, the hands in World 8. But one of the great things about Warpless is there's no shortage of ways you can route your way through the overworld and still end up with a very impressive time. And the same can be said about the items that you pick up from the Hammer Brothers and how you decide to use them as you progress. So as Narfman alluded to before, we're going to be stopping through one fort very shortly. And he's going to use his P-Speed to fly up to the ceiling and then grab that magic whistle. But it's not going to be used at any part of this run. This route will still save time over fighting Boom Boom.
Yeah, really glad I actually did the trick. All right, the run can continue now.
All right, we are up and out of here. So yes, quickly as we ended up grabbing the leaf, we're going to be ditching it. So Narfman's going to do a damage boost going down that hill. It's actually faster to run through most levels in the game without the tail, since you have more control over your P-Speed that way. The only other times you generally see a tail used are for levels where it's especially advantageous to make use of the flight mechanics, as opposed to just making your way through with heavy use of running and jumping.
And note, here and there, it's pretty rare, but when you're running, you have about a speed of 40. P-Speed, you get a speed of up to 56, so we're going to want to keep P-Speed a lot. And sliding, you actually have a faster speed still, which I don't actually know. Is it 63? But it's faster, and so when we can, we're going to try to abuse the slide as well to save that little bit.
Indeed. So yeah, you start off with 1/6 with a full jump from the far right end of the first platform, and that allows you to start building that P-Speed right away. And then as soon as he's able to make it over the gap, and we're out of here.
Whew.
See, every once in a while you can miss P-Speed by getting frame ruled, which means that as soon as you start running, the game checks your P-Speed every 8 frames. So if you're hitting that checkpoint while running over the small gap, you'll fail to completely fill your meter and reach the Koopa. But you can recalibrate by doing turnbacks and starting another cycle, although each attempt can cost you about 4 seconds.
We do weekly races a lot of times on Saturdays. Check out LSHK8's channel, but in the weekly races we'll have, I don't know, 10, 20, sometimes 30 racers. Inevitably in 1/6, somebody proclaims the agony of doing the belly flop in 1/6 after missing either the Koopa or the platform in the middle and falling to poor Mario's doom.
Yeah, there's always one or two that happens too.
Yeah.
But there's actually a consistent spot you can jump from in order to avoid that happening, at least 99% of the time. So yeah, we approach our first Koopaling boss fight, and it's worth noting that these bosses are coded with a small handful of fixed fighting patterns. So for example, they may jump the moment you enter the fight, they can shoot their wand right away, or they can just walk towards you for a few seconds before doing anything else. And this matters because knowing what pattern you get will indicate what approach you should take to fire killing them. And this is going to be a recurring theme that you see runners in general do at the end of each airship. Getting an optimal fire kill on each of these Koopaling bosses, like we saw with Larry, will save about 2 or 3 seconds over just jumping on their head 3 times. So the pattern you get is determined by a timer which starts from the last level you completed to the frame upon which you enter the pipe in the airship. And these patterns operate in a rotation which shifts every couple of frames. So it's not unusual to see experienced runners deliberately delay on the overworld map or a pipe entry to manipulate for a more desirable pattern. It's also worth noting that Hammer Bro movements and power-up grabs on airships play a role since they too cause a couple frames worth of delay. So now we're going to be entering World 2. So 2-1 is pretty straightforward in terms of execution. So we saw he did that rub against that block right in the beginning that allows him to carry P-Speed through the rest of the level, no problem. So Narfman also mentioned a little while ago that you're able to get a nice speed boost as a nice substitute for instances where you can't build P-Speed, and we're going to see that here as he tries to carry that momentum across what we call the Mode of Tears. So he's able to carry that speed from the slide, and he's able to get through there relatively fast with those humps on those Koopas. So yeah, it's really meticulous with the kind of A presses you have to do since you can't really see Mario from above that screen.
Yeah, not much speed saved there, but at least we didn't fall into the pit of sadness.
Exactly.
So notably, the Hammer Bros keep kind of moving to and fro over on our right side. So of those bros, we really want to get one bro which has the hammer. There's one that has the music box, which we can begrudgingly accept fighting. But we can get some really interesting and very rare patterns. We're probably not going to see these, where the Hammer Bro, who's far to the right of the side of the map, can move all the way to the left, potentially allowing you to kill him, grab the hammer, skip 3 levels, and bask in the light of victory. That's not going to happen here, though. What might happen, slightly lesser probability, is we can set up the Hammer Bro such that he's left of 2-4. We can grab him and cause a glitch in the game involving an in-spade card. So if that happens, I'm going to go for it. And y'all can be looking if he appears to the left of 2-4 after I fight the 2-5. But the other bro is kind of in the way there, so that's pretty unlikely.
Yeah, usually if you're able to get a pretty optimal early hammer grab, that can save you about a little over a minute in World 2. But you are going to end up sacrificing about 25 seconds if you since you already used your hammer, so you can't use it in World 4, so you're going to have to play an extra level. But the net time gain is going to be close to about 20 or 30 seconds or so, depending on just how optimal it is. But yeah, Narfman was talking about the end spade glitch, so again, this is going to cost you to play a couple extra levels right in the beginning, but you're able to pick up an extra cloud as a result of this new route. So this will allow you to skip 3 of some of the longest levels in the game towards the end, which would be 7-9, 7F2, and 8F. And altogether, this comes out to a net time save of roughly 10 seconds, which is roughly the equivalent of a post 2-3 early hammer.
All right, we started making those tough life decisions. I'm going for the YOLO strats, folks. So the hammer did move to the left of 2-4, and I'm trying to coax him to stay over there. So if I fight this box bro, and the Hammer Bros moves to the left of 2-4, we are all happy, and we get to see a very silly glitch. So with all of your willpower, folks, please, I don't know, will him to move left. Oh my goodness.
Oh, we got it.
Nice.
This is going to get really silly really fast. Oops. All right, there you go. Already fulfilling the prophecy. So some of what this is going to involve is very early on in World 3, we have to use the hammer to fight a matching game that will spawn the in-spade card game over the last position where the Hammer Bro was in World 2. So in this case, that happens to coincide in World 3 with level 3-6, which is an auto-scroller. And if we complete the in-spade card game, it will glitch the game to also mark the level as completed. Sorry, I'm already laughing uproariously in my heart about this. And so we'll mark that level completed. That will save us a cloud. And potentially, depending on how the Starbro goes, we'll either grab the Starbro and just move along our merry way, or we'll see a level not oft seen in Warpless, which is 3-7, we'll grab a cloud there to pretend like we're going to save 10 seconds later in the game. And yeah, we'll take it from there, I guess. And Teeks will have to remind me before right after World 3 to actually go into the matching game, because I might forget that. Also notably, the cards have this card game that's going to spawn has a fixed set of solutions, of which there are 8. And so I have a cheater picture on my desktop right now that I'm going to open up after I'm done with this world. This is just so rare, I guess I wasn't ready for it. I haven't memorized the solutions yet, but I'm going to refer to the card game.
I appreciate you clarifying that, because I had no idea.
Yeah, it's gonna look kind of funny there for a little bit. But I'm gonna select a particular row and column that culls out most of the possibilities. And I'm gonna try to figure out what permutation I have of the card game. And then also come out with... Whoops. Please hold. Come out with a particular set of... Oh, I could have gotten the wall jump there. A particular set of items to help me later game. So this is fine. We're okay that we got a few extra things. Oh, we got the music box, so that'll change the route even more. Interesting.
So yeah, this means you don't have to fly up to 5-1 to grab an extra music box if you decided to go that route. So you'll be able to knock out the Hammer Bros in Worlds 4 and 5.
Yeah, so maybe I'll get one fewer flower. So maybe I'll get a fire flower and a star in the card game, because usually I get 2 fire flowers.
Well, you should have a P-Wing left over, so you'll be able to fly over 6-9 or 7-6 if you decide to.
Nice.
Alright, so we're going to break that rock right here. It's going to play the spade roulette game, and this is going to manipulate the end spade to spawn over 3-6. So once he finishes that card matching game, it'll explode, and then it'll count 3-6 as completed.
That was the off-screen sound of victory. So when we head over there, we'll see. We'll try now to avoid the Star Bro, but we need the Hammer Bro in order to skip some levels in World 6. 6-1 and 6-2 and 6-3, whichever one is not the auto-scroller. So we'll see, but if we get the star, I don't know, I guess nobody ever lost their speedrunning credentials based on getting extra Hammer Bro, so we can suffer through it. There you go, he's ready to troll us.
So yeah, 3-2 is a level I'm sure most runners have dreaded at some point, and it's a common reset point generally, and a lot of that can be attributed to just how precise that P-speed build is right in the beginning. Northman did a little turn back so he can maximize his running space, and then as soon as that raft turns from right to left, that allows him enough of a meter build so that he could just carry that P-speed over and then just have those very precise jumps onto those jeeps. But it's also important to be wary of your height as you're making those jumps, because sometimes if you go too fast during your collision, you could just fall right through them and take damage.
So another kind of trolly gotcha which often manifests in 3-3 is a coin ship. So this is an extremely rare circumstance where if you have a coin count that's a multiple of 11 and say 44, and say your tens place in the score matches that digit, so if it were 44, if the tens place in your score matches a 4, sorry, hold on, I'm gonna go for third door here as well.
And he gets it, very nice.
Makes me so happy, you don't even know. All right, my knight has been made already. Anyway, so if you get a coin ship though, you have to go through an auto-scroller, and profound sadness occurs, and we don't want to do that. So what we want to do is, we modified in the first Hammer Bro fight in World 1, I tried to knock out certain tiles such that it modified my score to avoid that here in World 3. And we're going to have to care about that, and I'll probably whine about that inevitably around World 5, like 5-4 or so, because that might be an issue. Though I guess I'll music box the P-Wing Bro in World 5, and then if we have any problems, he'll spawn the airship, so maybe that's not a big deal.
So yeah, I just wanted to back up for a moment about what we just saw about 30 seconds ago. Northman did something called Door 3 in that last fort, and it is a frame perfect trick, which was why he was especially happy about that. It's not something you would typically go for in a run, but if you're able to pull it off, it does save about 3.5 seconds, because the game intends for you to go for the sixth door, and that's usually the pathway that leads to Boom Boom. But here he was able to just do a frame perfect wrong warp.
I have regrets. So I should not have fought this bro, because I could have just gone right over, I guess. There we go. Bummer. I guess that was optimal. This happens rarely enough that I just don't know.
Yeah, 3-8 is one of those levels that doesn't really incorporate P-Speed as a strat. The objective here is just to clear those 2 ice blocks as soon as you can and then just start jumping immediately every time you come in contact with the water. And if you're maintaining a consistent rhythm, you don't have to worry about boss bass grabbing and eating you. So 3-9 is going to be home of the infamous H-jump, so you'll see Narfman build P-Speed right away and then maneuver past those platforms and bombs in such a way that it'll position him past those note blocks. And if done right, he'll have enough height and distance to clear that gap no problem, and he gets it. So yeah, when you nail that H-jump, you save a good chunk of time, maybe close to 5 or 7 seconds, and it also allows you to avoid a hefty amount of lag due to throwing those white blocks to clear a path for yourself. Okay, so we're going to be coming up on our 3rd auto-scroller of the run. And this airship is going to contain Wendy. Wendy, interestingly enough, is one of the easier Koopalings to fire kill, but the hardest to just do a normal jump kill on. And it's an easy fire kill because you're on flat ground in the arena, and this makes it very easy to measure your distance and shoot fireballs in pairs until she's down. It's also one of those Koopalings whose pattern you don't really have to worry about because she can be fought the exact same way each time. The only downside of having to jump kill her, however, is the fact that she is going to shoot off those rings with the wand that bounce around the room and never disappear until she's defeated. It's tricky enough to maneuver around once they're there, but once she starts adding in jumps, it's very easy to get caught off guard and take damage. So yeah, we're just going to do what we pretty much always do for most auto-scrollers. We're just going to stand in the front row and then just jump as needed. You can avoid those cannonballs that way. Not gonna have to pick up any power-ups along the way since Fire Flower's already your best friend and he has it already. So just gotta make our way to the pipe.
Oops.
Alright, he gets the backup stomp and those last shots in on the shell. Very nice. It's very important that you're able to maintain a consistent distance between yourself and Wendy because you want to be wary of the angle at which those fireballs are shooting off. You want them to bounce upwards into the upper half for Sprite since that's where her hitbox is. If you shoot the lower half, then oftentimes the fireballs will just go right through them, and this applies to all the other bosses as well.
We can see, hopefully we don't have to see this manifest, but on Bowser especially, a casual player might not know this, but you can crouch or if you're Small Mario, you can just chill under his hitbox and he won't hit you at all. And you can watch him break away the blocks, no problem.
So yeah, 4-1 has a pretty fun P-Speed strat just right off the bat. You could either grab the Koopa shell to clear a path with the other Koopa, or you could just snipe out whatever his obstacles are right in the beginning. And then through carefully placed jumps, you could just run through the waterfall, and you could just position yourself right in front of the exit.
So this level has an interesting despawn strat. We're very happy that we have fire here. As long as I shoot the second Koopa here, we despawn one of the piranha plants that comes out and lets us build P-Speed much earlier. Saving some trivial amount of time. Huzzah.
It saves you a turn back, so maybe a half second, if that. Yeah, 4-3 is coming up as one of the more aesthetically appealing levels to run through in the game. There's never any point at which you have to slow down or turn back, and it demonstrates a good knowledge of the level layout and your surrounding hazards. So whenever everything is executed precisely, from the stomps on the Buzzy Beetles to the carefully placed jumps on the small platforms, it just flows really well. And we see no problems here, very nice.
This feels like a good milestone when you execute 4-3 successfully. Like when I was going through and learning this in the first place, it's great to finally hit that. My first time with P-Speed, maintaining P-Speed throughout the level. It just flows really well. It's a lot of fun. A lot of people's favorite level. Whoops. And that's why we use Star here.
Yeah, we went from some of the most enjoyable levels in World 4 to some of the scariest, so 4F1 is technically one of the most difficult.
Yeah, so when taking this route, I very commonly just spend that extra, I don't know, half second or 1 second grabbing the star from the in-spade card game. So we should be okay there. He's positioning himself to troll us mightily, but that's okay.
So in addition to the fort, 4-4 is another level that I frequently regard as a gatekeeper in runs because they're both levels that require very tight execution and is very easy to take damage in. Interestingly enough, the Lakitu movements and the spiny throws are not RNG. They're dependent on where you are in the water and the kind of inputs you make to get yourself through the level. So as long as you're playing 100% consistently, you can theoretically avoid getting sniped each time. But realistically, that's much easier said than done.
I don't know which one's which.
So yeah, it's good to you can tell which Hammer Bro generally has which items just based on which way they're facing when the overworld music starts. So the P-Wing and the Cloud face right, and the Star faces left. And since he doesn't need a star, he just took advantage of that screen transition to skip it altogether. But unfortunately, he came back around, so unfortunately ended up burning his extra music box in this particular situation. So he's going to go 4-6, which is 5 seconds faster than playing 4-5.
And 4-5 feels like an emotional loss. It just takes so much time, it makes me cry on the inside, so.
It also has one of the hardest P-Speed builds in the game. So, on our second fort in World 4, it's by far the easier of the two forts, at least in terms of execution. And what's great is that you have a Fire Flower you can pick up early in the level in case you need it. But beyond that, you can pull off an early P-Speed strat by building meter across the first platform above the stairs, and then across the first sets of donut lifts. So as long as you have at least 4 arrows filled by that point, you'll have liftoff by the time you reach the first dry bones. So I do believe that looked like a movement of one we saw from the Hammer Brothers, so we should be able to predict what kind of pattern we're going to get from Iggy should Northman decide to go for that fire kill.
Hopefully I didn't get in there too slow. So we should have a pretty slow pause before, and what is this, the six shot? He'll, pause there and then move to the left, and then we can murder him. Side note, whenever I'm running, folks, I'll open up an Excel spreadsheet made by Teeks so that I can refer to what fire kill we're getting into. So something like every, 30, 45 frames, something like that, he'll shift his pattern. So as long as we don't take too long, he should have a consistent pattern.
Yeah, 30 to 40 frames sounds about right. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no problem. So there's a really nice trick here in World 4 Airship that you usually want to set yourself up for. We get 69 coins, and Teeks, I wonder, I'm coming up to this other cool thing. I wonder if you can elaborate on why 69 coins is just really nice in the World 4 Airship?
Yeah, getting 69 coins in the World 4 Airship doesn't really mean anything, but it is, we just do it as kind of a meme in the SMB3 community, but it's also good because you can also accurately predict what kind of coin count you're going to have for the later levels in World 5, so you can avoid something like getting 88 coins, by the time you reach 5.5 or 5.7, something like that.
As a good millennial, I love to whine about the game, and I will whine about coin chips to no end, but helps modify, we'll perfectly straddle the multiple of 11 coin count. Again, right around that 5.4, 5.5 range. So we'll see, and I'll have to remind myself to manage that, especially as we're going into the tower in 5.4.
So yeah, if we did get a movement of 1 from the Hammer Brothers earlier, we should expect Iggy to move towards the set of stairs in the center of the arena, and then just stall briefly before he makes his jump. So Northman has a good amount of time to get those opening shots in, and he gets the fire kill. Very nicely done. This is also one of the few boss arenas where you can do a wall jump and then get high enough to get an off-screen wand grab. Definitely one of the hardest tricks to do in the game, and it's highly subpixel dependent. But if you're able to pull it off, it saves you about 4 seconds per world. and that's mainly because you're able to bypass the Mario falling animation during the throne cutscenes. Okay, so coming up in World 5, 5-1 is going to be one of those levels you don't typically see P-Speed utilized in until the very end once you're on flat ground. And usually you want to make your way up the steps without taking damage, then fall straight down into that two-tile platform, and then clear a path to run by sniping those two nippers. Pretty straightforward.
Note, Teeks, I really appreciate how you're setting this up. That's like, sometimes, occasionally, the runner might do this. And you're giving me a big out for when I inevitably lose firepower or something sad. But not yet, thankfully.
So yeah, the 5-2 is home of the Shaft of Shame. So every once in a while, it's possible just to just to miscalculate a jump and then just end up falling down a pit, which will take you to a narrow tunnel where it's very hard to build P-Speed, and you're pretty much riddled with a lot of obstacles and enemies on the bottom side. So if you're able to take that upper route, any opportunity, it's always worthwhile to go for.
Yeah, there exists a P-Speed route for that bottom way, but I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. So do I use a thingy here? I think yes. I'm gonna YOLO that. Teeks, I'll get a fact check from Teeks here in a moment.
Yeah, that was definitely the right call. You already picked up the P-Wing and the star from World 4. Oh, didn't get the star, but you did get the extra P-Wing, so you're in good shape for the end of the game.
We'll have stars for days also. I grabbed a star in the in Spade Glitch, and then we got the Star Bro in World 3, so.
Alright, so we're going to be coming up on the Spiral Tower next. This technically isn't a real level, it's just pretty much an elaborate 40-second long pipe transition to get to the upper section of the overworld map. Pretty tricky in that once to build P-Speed on the very first floor while avoiding those rotodiscs. And you want to make sure you have P-Speed coming out of that first pipe so that you can avoid those thwomps.
Ooh, so here's the exact case. Normally you pick up 2 coins here, and we're at 75 coins. So I'm going to make sure that I go ahead and grab one of these extra coins just to make sure that I'm a multiple of 11 plus 1, like furthest away from a multiple of 11. I don't want to mess with that stuff. Ain't nobody got time for that.
So yeah, 5-4 is it's simultaneously straightforward but a little scary because it's very easy to miscalculate your jumps, especially when you're running across those spinners just because of the lag that they generate.
Single frame jump going out of the horizontal pipe, let's go! A lot of those animated spinners can also generate quite a bit of lag, and so you want to be really careful to just hold down and smash that button whenever you're anywhere nearby, because otherwise your inputs can get eaten and you will die unceremoniously in a pit.
Yeah, and a fun little fact about those spinners is that you have a couple frames time window where you can just run off the spinner and then be able to do a follow-up jump while you're in midair.
I see what happens when you get to a multiple of 11. So if you have a multiple of 11 coin count and the tens digit in your score matches that. So again, in this case, it'd be like if I had 88 coins and the tens digit matches that, which is 8, then I would spawn a coin ship. So I'm scared of that. In this case, if that were to happen, then it would actually be that P-Wing bro who is on the lower area of World 5. So we wouldn't care about that in this case. The last time now that we're going to care about that is going to be in World 6. The Cloud Bro especially.
Yeah, every in-game timer second you have left over at the end of the level adds 50 points to your score. So it's always worth being wary of if you're ending the level on an odd number or an even number. So a good rule of thumb would be odds change, evens don't. So if you end on like a 95, for example, and your score is 30, then Narfman would have gotten an 80, and that would have been a coin chip.
Back on the silly spinners. So probably in 6.4, I'm going to try to show how you can also have, while the animations are jank and they eat your inputs for breakfast, You also have the ability to jump very, very, very late, so you can actually run off. Where are... My inventory is all jacked up since we did the glitch and got all kinds of items and such, so pardon overworld, map movements, and inventorying. But in 6.4, I'll try to show off some of how you can just run off, and then frames, seconds later, infinite time later, you can still have the ability to jump off.
So was that a movement of 1 that you just got, Narfman?
I think so. I am probably a little too scared to actually go for it. Do you believe in me, Teeks?
I believe in you.
I mean, I'd have to honestly pull up your YouTube for what that actually means.
Because if you got a movement of 1, that's actually really good. Because the last level you did was the Hammer Bro right between 5-9 and the castle. So that sets you up for what we call the Hundo pattern. So basically that means that Roy will not jump at all. He's just going to shoot in place for a couple of seconds. So that pretty much leaves them an open target for those 10 fire kills, and you don't have to do anything too technical.
All right, well, you never know until you YOLO, so how about I just go for that blindly, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, worst case scenario, you could always just grab a leaf in 6F1 and then just damage boost with that.
Sounds good.
And he gets it. Very nice.
Easy. Good call. Thanks, buddy.
Anytime.
Teeks is giving the Narfman the casual scrub fire kill tutorial that I should have done years ago.
So yeah, World 6 in pretty much any category that you're playing, warpless, 100%, it's definitely one of the most technical in terms of execution. So we're going to be seeing a lot of variety in the strats we're going to be pulling off. So first off, we're going to be first thing we're going to do, it's a little innocuous, just going to be a Hammer Bro fight so we can pick up an extra hammer. You have no choice but to fight him anyway, so we're just going to get him out of the way. And as mentioned before, we're going to be seeing some damage boost strats coming up in 6F1, so that you could just bypass having to take that lift across the bed of spikes. And we get the optimal jump onto those spikes. So Narfman's going to do his best to maintain his P-speed meter going into the second room. So that'll allow him a pretty fast opportunity to grab that star, and he's going to carry it over to the next room so we can get an insta-kill on Boom Boom.
So I believe it's every frame Boom Boom takes damage here, and we get the fancy upside-down bag. And it's much faster than even if you were to fire kill by seconds. All right, let's see if I remember the spinner trick.
So yeah, fun little trivia about the Boom Booms. They were never programmed to have a kill state like most objects. It's just meant to be in a normal state. Boom Boom was given 37 hit points, and killing him with fireballs will set him to 32. And this is the value that triggers his conversion into an orb. So when he comes in contact to a star, we're pretty much doing an overkill on him, which is why we end up with that upside down orb.
So pretty soon we're going to get to 6.5. This level can be kind of tricky and elusive, but we are going to try to use our P-Wing in such a way as to kill enemies and set up our sprites such that we despawn a nipper that's blocking our way, and it should save quite a chunk of time. So let's see. I think that's good. Yay.
That was good.
Ooh, almost 390. Pipe entry.
Yeah, the difference between the 389 and the 390 is just how flush you're landing on that last platform as you're dropping down to where that nipper was to break the wall.
Inventory is very silly right now. So normally where we saw that one nipper, we despawned a nipper on the right side, and it saves something like 10 in-game timer seconds. I'm not sure how many real seconds that is, like 7? Maybe.
Yeah, depending on how optimal your shell grab would ordinarily be, just doing it the dev intended way, it could save anywhere from 5 to 10 seconds.
All right, I'm still undecided. Deep Nerf or Teaks, do you have any input on if I should 6'9" or 6'10"?
Yeah, like I was suggesting earlier, I think we're just going to let 6'8" determine what you should do. But it looks like you're getting
Fair
a P speed. You're able to maintain that big Mario, so...
I'm gonna go for it.
Okay, fair enough. So yeah, you always want to be small Mario going into 6'9" if you're going to go for the wall jump strats, because it does allow you a slightly wider window of time to make that jump. And he gets it second try, so he's still saving time.
I am filled with determination.
So yeah, much like the clips that you can do in this game, this also applies to wall jumps, since technically Mario's feet are clipping partially into the wall for a brief period of time. So what we mean by subpixels is subunits of pixels, and there's 16 subpixels that make up one. And they're basically represented as 0 through 15. Well, technically as hexadecimals if you want to get into like the game code and all that, but for our intents and purposes, you want subpixel values 0 through 5 in order to make that wall jump. But yeah, it's kind of risky since you don't know like right off the bat, unless you were doing some sort of manipulation, what value you're starting out on. So yeah, Narfman took a chance and it paid off.
Speaking of subpixels, as we're going into the 6th airship, at the very end, it's mostly auto-scroller, but at the very end, I'm going to want to set up my subpixels specifically to be able to clip easily through 7-1. 7-1 normally is quite a long stage, and we always clip in the beginning, but as it turns out, we can carry over the subpixels from the end of this battle to the beginning of 7-1. And then we have a choice, like do we want to set it up such that we can do a standing clip or a ducking clip? And frankly, I'm still undecided which one I want to do. I think probably duck clip initially. But that'll be tricky, we'll see. TBD.
Yeah, there's pros and cons to each method that you could do. Standing clip has a shorter range of subpixels that'll work if you're going for a first try manipulation. But it's only one input that you have to do. I mean, you still have to properly time it, but all you have to do is press A at the right time and then you're pretty much in there. With the duck clip, you have a wider range of subpixels that you can work with, but you have that extra down input, and if you mistime it, that could just decelerate you just enough to change your value at the last minute and put you on the wrong one.
Historically, I'm always a duck clipper and Teaks is team standing clip, but I might be an aspiring team standing clip here before too long. We'll see. When I get burned this time, right here, then I'll switch over fully. How about that?
Sounds good.
Seems good.
So yeah, we saw Narfman doing those little taps to the right before he grabbed the wand. That was part of the manipulation. So basically, he just wants to do little taps. Mario's still technically moving, even if you don't see him, even if it looks like he's still standing in place. But once his subpixel value rolls over from 15 to 0, then he will move one pixel to the right, and you'll actually be able to see it. So he'll know that he's on the right value in the case. But yeah, he wants to be on values 0 through 6 to do the duck clip, and on 14 or 15 to do the standing.
Whenever you see me jumping to the left, I'm jumping a little too early. To the right, and kind of smashing my head, it's a little too late. And whenever you see Mario's head clipping in, that's correct input but bad subpixels. And we got a few of them. Turned out okay. Acceptable.
Yeah, it looked like the manipulation after Lemmy looked good, but I think the duck jump was just a little too late. Nonetheless, we're still out of here, so there's a number of ways that you could do an optimal 7-2. In this case, we're going to take the traditional route with the star, so just going to knock out the nipper, allow ourselves some nice running space to build P-speed. You can knock out the next obstacles coming up, and we can cross over that big gap without having to build the note block bridge the way the devs intended. And we get some pipe-to-pipe action, very nice.
So we have 2 clouds. So I'm thinking cloud 7F2 and 8F, which are some of the more complex and or long levels. Typically, you can pick 1, but because we did this in-speed glitch route, we have 1 extra cloud. The star got in our way. Otherwise, we would have played 3-7 and been able to cloud 3 levels here. Probably 7F2, 7-9, and 8F. However, that leaves us a glorious opportunity of clipping 7-9. So I might have to keep that in our back pocket.
So yeah, we're going to use that extra cloud to skip over 7-4, which would normally be a pretty long auto-scroll that's well over a minute, so we don't have time for that. So we're just going to go straight to 7F1. We're going to equip our P-Wing. This is a pretty unique gimmick level in which you're otherwise intended to get the Tanuki suit in one of the hidden rooms from the big question block. But otherwise, we're just going to fly right up to get to Boom Boom. And Narfman should have an extra P-Wing left over, so we can just carry it over for the next level. So we're not going to have to do any clipping in this point.
Yeah, I confusingly have more than 1 P-Wing. But I'll just pretend like that other one doesn't exist.
Yeah, you picked up the P-Wing from World 4, and then you were able to save one by not flying up in 5-1.
I forgot about the World 4 P-Wing. It checks out.
Because Narfman was able had that tail left over from 7-6, he's not going to be doing any swag for 7-7, unfortunately. Unless he decides he wants to go for it anyway.
I'm sorry, Teeks. I've let you down, and the community. I failed you all. Wow, this is going to be new jankiest 7-8 of all time. Let's go. That was so risky. So that last nipper that I jumped over was a fire nipper, and he is on a cycle that is timed from the beginning of the... sorry, let me... What am I doing here? I'm clipping, right? He has a cycle that's timed from the beginning of the level, or the last time we beat the last level, and so I could have very easily died there.
He's on the clock as soon as you come out of that transition pipe.
I see. We uselessly got redundant fire, no big deal. I don't usually already have fire here.
Alright, so we get the mid-clip. This is a level that's especially important to nail the clips on once you get to the top level 100%. And yeah, this could easily be a make or break in many situations. Same applies to one of the category extensions, 1 Warp 2. Since that's a required level since you don't have any extra clouds in your inventory. So we're going to be skipping over what I argue to be the best fort in the game. But yeah, we're saving those few extra seconds because of the end-spade glitch. And we'll be making our way to the longest airship in the game. It's only a couple seconds longer than the World 4 ship, even though it scrolls faster. And yeah, we'll be meeting Ludwig and then closing things out in World 8. So stay tuned.
Also want to take this time to say that if you are watching this on YouTube from the future, make sure you go to twitch.tv/gamesdonequick if you're interested in looking at all of our live content. We start most nights at 7 p.m. Eastern, weekdays 1 p.m. Eastern. And thank you so much, Narfman and Teeks, for being here. You're both doing an amazing job.
Thank you. This is tons of fun. Thanks for having us on.
Of course.
Yeah, we're in quite the set of auto-scrollers here for the next few minutes. So, perfect opportunity to plug runners of all levels. There is a Warpless tournament. Registration's open now through March 6th, and then starting the tournament on March 7th. We're going to have a Warpless tournament this category. We have, 38 runners, something like that, runners of all levels, so feel free to join in there.
That sounds like a lot of fun. And where can people go if they want more information on that?
Yes, that is a great question, to which I have not an amazing response. So the SMB3 Discord waves arms generically. It's hosted on Challenge. I guess I can add a link sometime, somewhere. That makes sense. And there's another tournament Discord linked from the Challenge and the SMB3 Discord. So I don't know, some benevolent SMB3 runner maybe can add it to chat.
Okay, thank you.
I can probably do it in a minute as well.
I just dropped a link a moment ago.
Nice. No off-screen wand grabs, much shame. Oh, I wonder if maybe they don't allow links.
If you give us the link in Discord, we can make it happen for you.
Thank you. All right, so honestly, there are so many auto-scrollers here that, like, honestly, normally it's kind of nice to have a little break, kind of at the end of an intense World 7. There are just so many clips, and you can have quite the cliptastrophe in World 7. Sorry, dad joke, I couldn't help it. I'm here all night, ask me anything. But it's kind of nice having the auto-scrollers at the end. It can be kind of a lot of auto-scrolling though, so a lot of times we have different goof-off strats. I don't have anything great here, but before too long we'll have to do various pushing Mario off-screen to the right and see what we can come up with. But many a run has died to the tedium of auto-scrollers, so I don't know. Teeks, any other SMB3E-like announcements?
Yeah, not as far as I know, but yeah, just elaborating on what we were saying about just some swag that can be pulled off in some of these early auto-scrollers in World 8. There's actually two, one of which is if you're really meticulous with your jump placement, you can clip into one of the tanks and then push yourself to the far right end of the screen. But you want to do it just enough so that you don't get crushed by the, just the way the auto-scroller is. And then that'll allow you an earlier pipe entry that could save you about a half second. Another potential time save would be the, since Narfman has a Fire Flower equipped, he has a slight chance of being able to snipe out the boomerang bro that's going to be on the, at the end of the level. And if he's able to knock it out before it has a chance to throw that boomerang, he could save an extra 2 seconds. We like to call that rangless. And another common strategy you can use in Tank 1 is to despawn some of the bob-bombs that pop up about halfway into the level, so that could save you about a 1/6 of a second if you're feeling courageous enough.
Also want to say that alongside all of our recurring shows, that GDQ Hotfix also has multiple week-long events with Frost and Flame Fatales, and these are all women-led events that happen twice a year, supporting some great charities. Frost Fatales is actually coming up February 27th and will run through March 5th. You can use the command !FF in chat or go to gamesdonequick.com/framefatales for more information.
Yay. Also thought of SMB3 randomizers happen. I think there's a tournament sometime, and then they're weekly as well. So y'all can check that out. And we have weekly races oftentimes. Oh, we didn't get it. Oftentimes it's Saturdays around 3:30. A lot of the time it's Warpless. Sometimes we do Hundo or other stuff as well. So check that out.
Narfman, have you been running Super Mario Bros. 3 for a while now?
Yes. So something like 2017.
Oh wow, okay.
After kid number 1 got to slightly more autonomous state. Off and on, and then a lot more honestly since COVID hit. Did a lot of Kaizo. I don't know, I kind of bob and weave between Kaizo and Warpless, but Warpless is my favorite category. So here's the biggest RNG swing, by the way. We talked about hands. Each one is about 20, 21, 24 seconds. So, of course, hand 1, first hand, worst hand. But we're going to see how much time we're going to blow due to strictly RNG, which at the very end of a run, this can be a big bummer. Sometimes you can be on a huge PB pace, and 48 minutes, 46 minutes if you didn't do some silly shenanigans throughout the run. You can lose 1 minute and 5 seconds or something like that. But we only got one. That's okay.
Yeah.
50th percentile. Let's go. So each one of those hands, there were 3. Each one has a 50% chance to pull you in. So if you want 0 hands, you're looking at a 12.5% chance only. A 1 hand is a little more reasonable at 50%, but
So yeah, the Air Force is about a minute long. Definitely one of the scarier ones, just because of how small the platforms are, and there's a big risk factor involved with just the positioning on those rocky wrenches. But as long as you have that fire flower there, you can just snipe them out along the way. It makes it a lot more trivial. So because Narfman's going to be saving about 40 seconds in World 8 because he's going to be clouding over the World 8 Fortress. And we just touched down at the end of the Air Force, so there's about 3 minutes and 20 seconds left in the run. So we're looking at roughly a 53 or a 54 minute time.
Trying to decide if I wanted to do a Nito trick in 8F, actually, maybe Cloud 8 too. That would be so much more time saved, though. Alas, tough life decisions. I guess I'll do 8 too. So as long as you're not going up an incline, you can manage P-speed a lot more reasonably. So I tried to land on the top of those pipes where they're flat to maintain P-speed.
Okay, so we're going to be making our way to the super tank, so not really much more going to be involved aside from just holding right and then just jumping and shooting fireballs as needed. So the only hazards you need to really be wary of are just those rocky wrenches that come up, and then of course boom boom at the end. Super tank lasts about 1 minute and 15 seconds.
It's good mash practice time if you want to figure out how you want to button mash. Got to do the roll, do the claw grip. Looking like maybe a low 53. We'll see. And here we go. Last level. Let's go. Oh.
Yeah, Northman was trying to go for that elevator clip, which would save about 1.5 seconds. Got ourselves a pretty optimal stair climb. Gonna get that 1-up clip so he doesn't have to go back down the stairs and then just climb the donuts again. And he's gonna try and maintain that P-speed all the way through the statue room, and he gets it. So all that's left is Bowser. So it's gonna take 35 hits before he's down, so he's gonna use the conventional strat, just stand above the door and just wait for him to jump, then get those last few shots in, and he's down. Everybody get your GG's out for Narfman 0.
GG.
Thank you for being benevolent, Bowser, and not giving me the troll pattern. Sometimes if you're standing here, you can shoot a fireball such that you cannot block it.
He's mean
Much
like
to the
that.
runner's chagrin. And time, sorry.
There you go. Well, thank you very much, Narfman, for doing this run for us. Do you have any shout outs or any final words for our viewers?
Shout outs to Narf Woman, who's watching discreetly downstairs. I don't know. My kids, my people, the viewers.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks everybody. Again, that Warpless tournament on Challenge, I think we'll get it linked in here before too long. And thanks everybody for watching. It's been super fun. Thanks for having me. And thanks Teeks on comms.
Yeah, my pleasure.
And those of you watching, if you did enjoy the run, please make sure you follow both Narfman, Zero, and Teeks. That's Teeks88, I believe.
That's correct.
Awesome. Teeks, what about you? Anything you would like to say to our viewers?
Sure. I just want to give a shout out again to Narfman Zero for putting on a fantastic run and for allowing me the opportunity to commentate for him. SMB3 is not only one of my favorite games on the NES, but one of the games I've looked forward to seeing at GDQ year after year. To spend time in the game's community, actively take part in that experience, and share my passion for the game with others is always an honor. Narfman himself is an active contributor who has consolidated many of the community's guidelines and resources into one convenient and accessible webpage for others to refer to. He's also a fellow moderator on speedrun.com for the game, and he's recently been investigating how Arduino technology can be used to make early hammer manipulation more accessible for console players. He's a talented runner, really skilled Kaizo player, and an all-around great guy. Please be sure to give him a follow. And lastly, shoutouts to everyone in the Mario 3 community for your friendship and all that you've taught me over the past 3.5 years. Always happy to pay that love forward. Thank you to the individuals behind the GDQ Hotfix show, including Smooth Operative, for organizing the Time Capsule event and allowing us to showcase this great classic.
Well, it's been a pleasure having you both here. You can come back anytime you want. Just let us know.
Yay!
But I want to say to all of you watching, if you do have any ideas for your own shows or one-off events, feel free to go to gamesdonequick.com/hotfix to submit your ideas. We are currently looking for new shows to join the roster of the Hotfix schedule, so be sure to submit if you'd like to become a showrunner. It's a lot of fun. You get to talk to a lot of great people, such as Teeks and Narfman here, and it's been a lot of fun for me. So if you're into that kind of thing, I think it could be a lot of fun and a good opportunity for some of you. But that is going to wrap it up for another episode of Time Capsule. Again, I have been your host, Smooth Operative. Appreciate you watching. So take care, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Have a good night. Take care.